I'm going to give you an action plan to get this right. What you might know is that right now, more than likely, if you got any symptoms like low T, fatigue, gut issues, skin issues, joint issues, you just don't feel like the man that you were born to be, your cells are C grade. Now, guess what? You can strategically increase your cells to being A grade. Then you can enjoy consistent energy, testosterone for life, and I've got videos linked below to show the proof that this is possible. You can easily get the body that you want, and you can look and feel younger as you age. Now, when you are born, you've got about 15,000 base pairs of what's called telomeres. Now, every time your cell divides, the telomeres shorten. That's called telomere attrition, and you lose your base pairs. Now, for most people, unfortunately, they get to 70 and they've got, as you can see here, about 4K base pairs left. So they feel old, they look old, and they don't have a lot of life left to live. Now, if you stop the inappropriate cell division, talk about how to do that, and you trigger telomerase to lengthen your telomeres and you activate stem cell production, and incidentally, when you make a stem cell, it comes out with a full complement of 15,000 base pairs. And this is really important for heart health. So we need superior cellular protection because when your telomeres are shrinking, inflammation, I'll talk about what that is in a moment, inappropriate cell division. What does the system do? They blame cholesterol, which is ridiculous. So when your telomeres are shortening, plaque in your arteries, coronary artery disease, stroke, peripheral artery disease, heart failure. So one surefire way of protecting your telomeres is to have a full complement of what's called exclusion zone water. And this doesn't cost you a cent. You can do this today, right now, or when you wake up in the morning. This is really easy to do. It doesn't cost you one iota. This is Professor Jared Pollock, and he discovered exclusion zone water, I think 2012, and this is going to blow your mind. Superior cellular protection. This is just phase one. I'm going to give you two phases for superior cellular protection. Check this out.
Like this on the left side, here is a typical protein in its extended form, and it's got easy water around it. And what happens is the easy water melts into ordinary water, and the protein is able to fold. But of course, it's got to go back to the original position. And what happens is it does as easy water builds around it. So this is the normal function of a typical protein. And on the right side, imagine what happens with no EZ. You see, with no EZ, it doesn't have the potential to get back to its original configuration. And so it's not working. So your muscle or whatever cell is not working properly if it doesn't have EZ water. Of course, if you have some EZ water, then it functions, but not quite as well as if you have a full complement of EZ water. You have potential energy from the EZ, which drives the work of the cell. Light, as I said, is responsible for building the EZ and building negative charge, and that's what gives the cell its energy. And then the energy is consumed as these proteins do the work of the cell, your work, and fold. And if you just connect the dots between the two, so light is actually driving work of your cells, or light is actually driving your function. Well, also inside the cell are structures called mitochondria.
And as you probably heard me speaking about previously here on YouTube, the mitochondria produce your ATP. So the whole point of this is your ATP, it unlocks, it's like unlocking a key for the protein, all right? The exclusion zone water goes in, and then you've got cellular metabolism in the proteins. And your proteins are everywhere. We are a protein machine, mitochondria included. So this is how the exclusion zone water works and how to build it up. In a nutshell, like this is basically your endothelium, the protective lining of your vasculature, protecting you from heart disease and stroke. Now, when you got a full complement, I don't know how I did that, full complement of exclusion zone water, it's got a negative charge. Now, in the blood here, bulk water, it's got a positive charge. So it acts like a battery. So if you don't have a full complement, then You don't have good energy, cellular metabolism, detox, neurotransmission. You can't make a lot of sex hormones. All of these, all the work goes down and down and down. Now, the second thing is that the exclusion zone water has got this protective shield around all of your cells and including the organelles within your cells, like the mitochondria, the peroxisomes, the lysosomes. So this is how you do it, really simple. Grounding and infrared light from the sun. You've also got to minimize blue light because that decharges the exclusion zone water and artificial light at night time. I've spoken about that previously, and the video should be linked below. And I'm also going to talk about protecting your cell membranes in a moment, so stick around for that. And you can also do things like fascia work and stretching. That also charges up your exclusion zone water. And I'll talk about something called the Moorning redox booster in a moment. But what takes it out? Well, if you've got too much deuterium in your diet, if you don't know what that is, drop a comment below. Pesticide-laden foods with glyphosate in it and non-native EMF. This has been now shown to deplete your exclusion zone water. Now, as Professor Pollack said there, it's the infrared part of the sun that's going to give you exclusion zone water. Now, listen carefully. Scientists estimate that for most people, 93% of their day, they're indoors where it's decharging your exclusion zone water and you're not even building it. So you're tired. You feel like shit. You don't have a lot of energy. And you're relying on ATP to do all the work, the cellular metabolism. And it just can't keep up. And the older you get, the worse it becomes. And you create a lot of reactive oxygen species, which destroys your base pairs. You know, over time, you lose your base pairs and you have accelerated aging. So you feel older, you look older, and you are older. Now, as I mentioned, all you got to do is stop that inappropriate cell division, inflammation. I'll talk about what that is in a moment. Trigger telomerase and also activate stem cells. Now, let's just have a look at what's going to shorten your telomeres. In a nutshell, if you don't have optimal vitamin balance, you don't have enough retinol, vitamin A, if your copper and zinc are out of balance, you're in a bit of trouble. If you don't know how to measure that, drop a comment below and I'll point you to a video. Now, they've shown it unequivocal. If you have anxiety and those issues, yeah, you got to work on your mindset. Now, C-grade cells, and I'm going to give you phase 2 in a moment, how to rebuild your cells so they're very strong. And of course, a low complement of exclusion zone water. And if you're in it, like I was 7 years ago, I was in an undiagnosed inflammatory autoimmune disease process. And I went to my doctor and he said, like, that's it, man. This is just life, suck it up, princess. Thankfully for me, I didn't like that answer and I started to work with experts in this space. So, things like autoimmune disease process, and you could be in one and you don't even know. How do you know if you could be? Skin issues, gut issues, brain fog, things like that, joint issues. Now, if you're a poor methylator, that's a big problem because you can't repair your DNA, so you're going to be absolutely blasting through your base pairs. And then if you've got gut issues and food intolerances, yeah, really big issue. So that's tissue repair, so inappropriate apoptosis. Then if you overtrain, that also shortens your telomeres. So a lot of people tell you to really push hard in the gym. That is a dumb idea. You got to train smarter in the gym. Now, of course, when your mitochondria are dysfunctional, and I've done videos on that, yep, telomere attrition, you're losing your base pairs. To make matters worse, you got a lot of reactive oxygen species, you feel like shit. Then you don't make a lot of nitric oxide, so your blood pressure goes up. You got endothelial dysfunctioning, so you could even have erectile dysfunction with that. Not a pretty picture. So let's just have a look at what you can test to see how your cells are, whether they're C-grade cells or B-grade cells. So it's called the Omega test, and you'll need to get the advanced one. The advanced one has all the fatty acids in your cell membranes. Now, as an example here, this was me in January 2023. I was low normal with stearic acid, and I was really high normal with palmititic, and that's the exact opposite of what you want. But because I didn't know this information back then, I thought, oh, well, that's fine. And it's not fine. Let me show you why. Right here, when you have your stearic acid at high optimal and palmititic at low optimal, this is what we can expect. Stearic acid. And all you got to do is change the foods that you eat. So glutathione synthesis goes up. That is your master antioxidant right there. So ROS, right, telomere attrition, losing your base pairs goes down. And this PPAR genetic pathway is activated, so all these antioxidant enzymes go in the up position, so you've got even less oxidative stress. And then right here, this is incredible, mitochondrial fusion. So brand new V8 mitochondria making your ATP, making your testosterone, making protein synthesis, building muscle, all those things we want to look amazing. And you probably haven't heard of plasmagens before, but this is really important for myelin synthesis, central nervous system, and brain function. It also helps release neurotransmitters more effectively, so you got a faster, sharper brain. And then right down here, the fluidity of the cell membrane, so faster cell membrane. Now, another thing you can also do is just understand this whole complex here. And when you wake up in the morning through the circadian rhythm, it is low. Gene expression of this thing called NRF2 is low. So you need to boost it in the morning. Now, if you want to know how to do that, drop a comment below and I'll do another video on that because it's about a 15, 20-minute video. But when you boost it in the morning, and you can boost it with 60 to maybe 90 minutes, boost it right up over this zone over here, you've got less endoplasmic reticulum stress, and you need that. You've also got detox here, autophagy and mitophagy. You've got anti-inflammatory genes being expressed, and this antioxidant system here for your proteins. And our body is a fucking protein machine. Hair, skin, nails, bones, muscle, cardiac muscle. The aorta is a smooth muscle. It's protecting all of those organ systems. Incredible. Heme iron metabolism, which is important as well. Then again, of course, you're going to increase the mitochondrial biogenesis. Brand new V8 mitochondria. And then the glutathione also gets knocked in the up position. And this is your redox potential, NADPH. And the final thing that it upregulates is all the antioxidant and detox pathways in your amazing body. And just to focus in on glutathione there, when you've got low glutathione, because your fatty acid profile isn't good, well, yep, you're going to have low glutathione. It is one of the master antioxidants in our body. So have a look here, neuro and brain, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, Huntington's, ALS, migraines and headaches, multiple sclerosis, autism, ADHD, ADD, bipolar, depression. Then, of course, heart disease, erectile dysfunction, angina, fluid, and your thyroid and pancreas tap out. And your pancreas releases digestive enzymes for gut health and satiety hormones up your vagus nerve into your brain to say, dude, stop eating. Then, of course, immune, and that C word there. I won't say it on YouTube because they kind of turn down the volume. So lupus, viral infection, asthma, which nearly killed me, acne, Lyme, allergies, gingivitis, arthritis, inflammatory skin issues, accelerated aging. So you're losing your base pairs without glutathione, arthritis, and of course you got chronic fatigue and chronic obstructive pulmonary disease like asthma, gout, hepatitis, cystic fibrosis, infertility, tanking your testosterone, eyes, and macular degeneration, gut issues, all of that crap there. But guess what? The medical system, man, they're cashing in. Like a great book you can pick up to just find out how busted our medical system is called Toxic Legacy. So inside that book, in 2021, guess what? The pharmaceutical industry turned over 1.25 trillion. And I had a look in 2023, 1.6 trillion they're making off our suffering. So think about it like this. If you counted all the way to 1.6 trillion, 1 second, non-stop, it would take you 50,000 years about. Now, 1.6 million, 24/7, 18.5 days. They are cashing in. And just so you know, I found this clip on Shark Tank. Check it out.
Joe, let me ask you a question. Why not just go license it to one of the big drug companies?
Because I did that originally. I went to one of the biggest in the United States, and they told me we were actually a competitor, and if they took the product, they would shelf it. Because why would they prevent it for $1 when they could treat it for 14?
Why would they treat it and fix it when they can have you as a lifelong customer making 1.6 fucking trillion dollars? What is it now? Probably more. Now, what I do is also create these GPTs. And this one here shows you exactly what you need to do based on your genes about how to increase your cellular strength, what to eat, when to eat, how to eat. So if you want to have a conversation about that, book a call with me. It's in the caption below. Because another thing that I just want to quickly show you, when you get this test done, and it will be linked below, you'll notice that it's an omega test. Now, this is the protective lining of all of your 40 trillion cells. EPA is an omega-3. Here it is here, eicosapentaenoic acid. So when you get enough in your diet, it's incorporated into all of your cell membranes. And guess what this son of a bitch does? It blocks lipid peroxidization and you losing your base pairs. And guess what else they showed in the study? EPA, but not vitamin E, inhibits oxidization, right? So it's a more powerful antioxidant than vitamin E. And guess what these scientists use to induce reactive oxygen species, which is we don't want? Glucose, man. Glucose. So when glucose goes beyond a homeostatic balance, we're in trouble. And guess what these omegas do? Reductions in telomere attrition, you losing your base pairs. So that test right there, which is linked below, you need the advanced one to see what that is. And again, if it comes back like this, that's not optimal. It's very suboptimal. That was me in 2023. So you want the exact juxtaposition of that. You want your stearic acid about 20% and your palmitic about 12%. All right. So stearic acid again, for the sake of emphasis, boom. So legends, if you like these videos and you'd like me to do another video about how to upregulate this in the morning, Nerve 2 for all of these benefits there, drop a comment below. Happy to do it. Because who the hell wants to put up with suboptimal cells, tanking your testosterone, your energy, and you losing your base pairs? So you don't have a lot of life left to live. You look older, you feel older, and you think this is normal. Never back that ridiculous idea. So there it is.